This mutation is called Fear and Lava and is displayed on the Vermillion Problem. We have two mutators active. We have Fear and we have Void Rifts. So, our resident mutation soloist slash meme lord and Calagon will be doing this mutation solo, and as you can see the masteries here are not being present because this is just a little bug with the arcade maps. So let's just quickly see. It's very likely gone for the Gary cooldown ability, cooldown, and he has 30 points obviously into the Steadlight, into the Stet mastery, and then he's probably gone into some maybe like 30 points into the Morpherite, or maybe some kind of a split here. So it's not really too big of a deal, but he is playing the best buddy prestige. So Gary's health and damage are increased by 100%. So this is P2 Stetmann, but this is going to be a solo, which is why I casted this game. Now, usually, I would not cast a P2 Stetmann game, because P2 Stetmann is a ridiculously powerful prestige, arguably one of the strongest prestiges in the game, and usually those games are not particularly fun because Stetmann just basically stomps everything. But as you can see, this is going to be a little bit more interesting. We already have a bunch of spine crawlers that have been made here for Stetmann, and he is going to be using these spine crawlers to start clearing out the Void Rift. So the first Void Rift will end up getting cleared out by these spine crawlers, and this is probably why also he has used the Morpherite Mastery here. I'm pretty sure he's gone for full 30 points here instead of the Steadlight cooldown Mastery. You can see no mastery points have been allocated there. So he's going to be using these spine crawlers to defend his base while he waits for Gary to come out. And this is again going to be a little bit of a hectic game, but already some satellites are being taken down by the Void Rift units. And as you can see, there are actually quite a few units here already. We have a Stalker, and we have a Zealot, and one random Marine here. And the first wave of crystals have spawned and have been picked up and deposited into the environmental stabilizer. We have 3 drones already ready for more repairs, and we are getting ready now for the first drop attack. Super Gary will be out by that time, so it's not really too scary. But as I said, this is going to be a Void Rifts game, and Stetmann solo, guys, Stetmann is like probably one of the more difficult commanders to be able to solo this kind of mutation. But this is why I have casted this game. So lava phase is over, next attack wave is on the way, and we have a set of Zerglings, and Super Gary, or just regular Gary, just instantly deletes all of it, and he's gonna move in now. He has actually used the Steadlight Overcharge on the blue field to increase his attack speed, and as you can see, he's just spreading his satellites over here, and he has actually run out of satellites to use here, so he's kind of like locked in here, and so he will have to use his spine crawlers to defend. And notice again the obvious positioning of the drones. I bring this up every single time someone uses drones or workers to repair static defense. Workers always on the far side away from the enemy units, otherwise the enemy units will lock onto those units because they gain the same aggro priority. Unfortunately, one of those spine crawlers does end up going down because there was a marauder over here, and now the other spine crawler has come up as well. So at the moment, 3-4 spine crawlers, and Gary now is going into Uber mode. Super Gary is out, and this is where things are going to get really, really bad for Amon temporarily, but then he will probably be able to overwhelm Gary with the Void Rifts that are spawning. So you can see that most of the Void Rifts have been cleared, but one Void Rift is still out, and Super Gary now has used his Gary zone to get into position. He will probably even maybe want to try and drop a satellite or two, and now he drops the green zone, drops a satellite as well, overcharges satellite, makes him a little bit more invincible, increases the amount of damage that he can take and tank, and that should be more than enough, and Gary should be able to clear this area out as well. Since there's nothing really much for him to do now, he is going to just be waiting around here. And notice what he has done as well is that he's actually attacked this side first. If you attack before this attack wave spawns, the attack wave will not spawn in this area and drop on your base. It actually spawns on the far end of the map here. So this is actually also very intentional. We have a few Mutalisks over here. Unfortunately, the spine crawlers cannot attack the Mutalisks, and Gary will have to go and help. But Gary is flying over the lava at the moment. He's being slowed down because he's outside the stat zones, but as you can see, not really too much of an issue. Next drop attack, as you saw, was over here, and these units are just going to be defending these crystals. So Gary does have a little bit of time to deal with that. He's going to go and clear out these overlords, and these Zerglings, for some reason, going in the wrong direction. I'm not really sure why they are going over there, but apparently that is where they decide to go. So Stetmann now has to pick up these crystals all by himself. Now, usually when you're playing difficult mutations, the earlier crystals are the ones that you kind of want to focus on because they're pretty much freebies with very, very small harass waves that are spawning with crystals, and it's not really too difficult as well to clear those areas out and pick up those crystals. They're very nearby. As you go into later stages of the game, you get very, very nasty attack waves that are going to be defending these crystals. So again, Gary just moving along the way. Gary does end up getting feared, but 2 crystals have been picked up so far, and some more crystals being selected here by Stetmann. Super Gary also getting feared temporarily. What do we have in production? At the moment, nothing in production, but we do have the bonus Ravager upgrade for the Infestors. So Stetmann will probably be using Infestors around the map at some point, and already some Infestors being made over here. So we're going to see how this thing works out for Stetmann. A bunch of Zerglings, and I think they appear to be stuck over here. Now, back in the good old days, Amon's units could actually get fried by the lava, but I think that was patched some time ago, so you no longer get to see Zerglings just die to the lava. But again, another set of Void Rifts over here. Again, it has spawned, and it has spawned a little drop here, but that Void Rift does end up going down, and now Super Gary's going to be moving in over here as well. You can see the amount of junk that has been spawned by that Void Rift. Stetmann's Super Gary just moving in again over here, and he drops a Stet Zone just in time because eventually his ability is going to be fading away a little bit, but he's just dropping these satellites here as well just to provide himself with a little bit of vision. So not only does he have vision, but he can also teleport Super Gary around the map. It makes it a little bit easier as well, and we have some defensive spine crawlers on his ramp here, and he will be one-basing this because it's almost, I don't know if it's even possible to try and two-base this map because you're just gonna get like too harassed with the Void Rifts. So the next set of Void Rifts have spawned as well. And over here, we have a little bit of a harass here on this poor drone. Marines do end up re-aggroing to the Spine Crawler, and they end up dying. Over here, another Void Rift getting cleared out as well. We have a few more Void Rifts on the map as well. And what is Super Gary going to do here? So, Infestors have spawned a bunch of units, and those units do end up dying. And Super Gary just jumps out of the way here, and he wants to try and deal with these Overlords, which he is able to do. But he's just going to ignore that attack wave and just go straight for those Void Rifts. Those Void Rifts are a huge priority, just running right over the lava. Doesn't really care about anything. He can tank the lava damage as well. He just needs to go and close up those Void Rifts. And over here, there is a huge harass of Zerglings from an attack wave, and there are also some units spawning from the Void Rifts here. So Infestors are out now. They're going to be spawning some Ravagers. Some more Spine Crawlers do end up going down. And over here, the Super Gary is kind of stuck outside the terrain, but I think all the focus over here is on trying to defend this base. And as you can see, this is going to get very, very nasty because Fear is also active. So that one is going to be one of the more annoying mutators to deal with. And compounded with the Void Rifts, it can get pretty bad. But Ravagers have been able to slowly manage this. We also have some Spore Crawlers being added now to start dealing with some of the air components of the attack waves. Infestors spawn another bunch of Ravagers as well. Super Gary clearing this out and moving back here just to try and hold because there are a large number of units coming out here. And now there's also a drop attack, and the drop attack is going to have a ton of Zerglings in it. So again, Super Gary just jumps in, deletes that attack wave, and ready to deal with the next phase of this mission. Over here, there are still these Spine Crawlers, and now there's an Immortal as well that has spawned from these Void Rifts here. So it's going to get a little bit nasty. Gary has to try and close up these Void Rifts, and that's what he's going to do. He's just going to aggro these Overlords over here, make sure that these things cannot get away, and now that Void Rift will end up getting closed, which will offer Stetmann a little bit of a reprieve while he goes over and he starts clearing this next base again. Now, good for him is that these crystals will not despawn on the next lava surge because he's probably not going to be able to send a bunch of drones to pick up these crystals, but because the lava surge is going to be coming out now, but at least he's going to have plenty of time once he's done clearing this area out to deal with these crystals on the next phase of the mission. So he's going to go ahead and he's going to start focusing again on some more of these Void Rifts. There's one rift over here. There's a Void Ray as well that has spawned from that Void Rift. And Super Gary just being very, very slow. He just has to spread his satellites all over the place. It's just really, really difficult for him to do. Finally, he gets his Gary Zone ability, and he's going to be able to clear out these Void Rifts here. And this is exactly the reason why P2 Stetmann is really, really strong, is because its downside, which is the 90% reduction in movement speed, is not really that impactful. As you can see here, Gary's mobility is hindered a little bit by the Prestige, but it's not significant enough to make the Prestige bad. And I think a lot of people who do complain about this Prestige, saying that this Prestige is not actually as strong as, you know, it sounds, are actually just not aware that you can use the Gary Zone ability from Super Gary to just get the movement speed as you want. And you can see the cooldown is not actually very long either. So we have another Void Rift over here, and Super Gary now has closed up another one of these Void Rifts. Where is Super Gary gonna go? We have Infestors and the Ravagers moving, or the Ravager and the Roaches from the Infestors to clear out this Void Rift over here, and now Super Gary uses the Gary Ego Orb here and has completely deleted that Harass Wave. So where is he going to go next? There are still 2 more Void Rifts on the site, and he is going to zoom forward, and I think this is actually very interesting. It's very important to point out that like he's not using his Super Gary to deal with the crystals, or not primarily used to deal with the crystals. He's using this to just close these Void Rifts, because the Void Rifts are actually a huge problem. A lot of players will try and leave the Void Rifts up, and if you do that, you are very likely going to get overwhelmed by the large trickle of units that are going to be spawning in the Void Rifts. Always focus on the Void Rifts as much as you can, close them as fast as you can, and that is how you will be able to succeed in this mutation. So, Super Gary now over here, he's kind of got outside the stat zone, which is somewhat unfortunate, but remember as well, like, he does have his recall available to him. So it's not really a big deal, even though he is caught outside. He just needs to spread his deadlights a little bit more. He's just going to wait around, see where the attack waves are going, see where he needs to move next, and he'll be able to recall as well as he needs here. And now we have also Infestors. I'm just going to call this the Infestor spawns, just pushing forward and slowly being able to clear this area out. So we have another Void Rift that has spawned over here. Super Gary is going to clear that out. So zoom forward, pick up this next Void Rift, and 3 minutes and 30 seconds left on the timer before Viridia Prime explodes. Over here, another Infestor spawn is clearing this area out as well. And over here now, there are a large number of air units here, and Gary has recalled himself back and is ready to deal with this attack wave. So he's going to jump in. One set of Ego Orbs over here is just going to delete all these Mulists, and almost all these Guardians end up getting picked off as well by one ability cast. And now there are no more attack waves on the map for Gary to worry about. He's just going to go in and just slowly auto attack, just clear things out as he wishes. And now the next set of Void Rifts have spawned, and that is going to be, unfortunately, the Lava Surge that is going to end up killing the Infestor spawn in that moment. So where is Gary going to go next? 2 minutes and 40 seconds left on the timer. So there are actually 3 crystals over here, potentially a 4th one that might be easily accessible if the area is going to get cleared out as well. But again, Gary's goal is to just clear out these Void Rifts one after the other. So that is what he's going to do. He's going to be focusing down these Void Rifts one after the other. There are also, okay, so there is now another drop here. So I think Gary will want to clear that out. Scourge is actually attacking Super Gary as well. Not really much of an issue. That spawn has been completely deleted as well, and those are 3 crystals up for grabs for Gary. And now he's going to make his way over here to this next Void Rift. Now this Void Rift will end up getting cleared out by the Infestor spawns here, and there are some Roaches and Ravagers aggroing the Void Array, or aggroed by the Void Array here, and that is going to end up getting cleared out too. Another Void Rift spawn very conveniently right next to Super Gary, so he'll be able to clear that out. 1 minute and 40 seconds left on the timer. Stetmann will have to hurry up, and he has prioritized these crystals, and rightfully so. These ones are going to disappear on the next Lava Surge, so he has to go and pick these things up as quickly as possible. Now, one of the things that's also really nice about Stetmann is that if he uses the blue zone, his drones actually move faster. So he's one of the very few commanders that can deposit the crystals quicker to the environmental stabilizer after they have been picked up by the workers, because generally workers cannot be loaded into transports, and that is exactly what he's doing. He needs to get these workers back and just get extra time on the thing, and I don't even think the Zerglings can catch the drones because the drones move so fast. But yeah, the drones have been saved from Amon's Zerglings, and unfortunately Super Gary has been caught out, but very nice recalling back Super Gary and keeping him alive, because losing Super Gary would be absolutely catastrophic. He loses his ability to clear the Void Rifts on the map. He loses his ability to push and clear out large swaths of enemies. So that was a very nice recall. He was aware that he was about to lose Super Gary there to the Hybrid Dominator's Plasma Blast, and he does end up saving Super Gary now. And Super Gary has been repaired by the army of drones in the base here, and he's going to start pushing through as well. And now there's another attack wave over here. I think Super Gary might want to deal with that at some point. Attack wave will not push in until after the Lava Surge has ended. So he's going to use an Ego Orb over here, deleting that out. And he is going to be pushing in over here as well to try and deal with that Void Rift. apparently he's going to be pushing in as well. Attack wave is on the way, and now he's also dropped a satellite over here to provide a little bit of vision. So we're going to see where Super Gary is going to be going right now. Super Gary is going to be clearing out the enemy units in this area. Oh, there's a lot of Zerglings over there. Just instantly get destroyed by Super Gary. And now Super Gary has completely wrecked this area. I think he's sitting at 637 kills. There is an attack wave over here, but I think the Infestors might be able to handle it with their spawns. There is another spawn as well that gets utilized here to try and clear out more of these Mutalisks. And the Mutalisks tend to stack with the Guardians as well. So these Ravagers actually get a lot of good value with their biles, so that seems to work out really well. And now 3 more crystals have been selected for Stetmann for pickup. These ones have also been cleared, but it's going to be a little bit difficult because he is sending a small number of units over here to try and help clear this area out, but it'll be a little bit of some time. He's sitting at level 2 attack upgrade so far, so it is going reasonably well here, and Super Gary has dealt a total of 72,000 damage throughout the course of this game. And again, 3 more crystals will be deposited into the environmental stabilizer, buying Stetmann a good amount of time. So he's going to be sitting now at about 5 minutes and 50 seconds. Super Gary, unfortunately, caught outside the set zones again. He's going to be moving a little bit slowly, and he's back now inside the set zone. And the shifting in the set zones between the blue zones and the green zones and the purple zones is just... It's so well done. Like, he's using the purple zones most of the time to keep these infestors charged up, but he's also using the blue zones to get his infestor spawns to move a little bit faster across the map and access areas that they would not be able to access under their regular time in life. And he's also using the green zones, obviously, to keep his army healed up. So very, very nice play here from Stetmann. And now Super Gary is going to be moving in, and he spawned another set over here, and now there's a Hybrid Dominator over here that has managed to get lured out, and that Hybrid Dominator is going to end up getting killed off pretty much for free. Another attack wave is on the way here, and now we have another Lava Surge coming out, and this Lava Surge is going to be killing off a bunch of these units here, and Super Gary just working away on clearing out these Void Rifts. I don't know how many Void Rifts have been cleared out by Super Gary so far, but there are a lot here. And Super Gary is, I think, might get hit by the Lava Surge here. I think, yeah, okay, he does end up moving out of the way eventually. He does take about 50% damage. That is actually really nasty, but that is what it is. And now we have a large number. How many infestors does he have so far? He's sitting at 25 infestors, so he's doing actually okay for himself right now. You can see just how hectic the early to mid game is as you try and just clamor on and not die to the Void Rifts. So I think he's doing okay. He should be fine now. But again, there's another storm getting casted. Super Gary is just going to get into position. He's just going to cast one E-Gorb and just clear out all the Zerglings in that area. And now there's one more crystal again up for grabs. There are another set of infestor spawns as well, making their way across the map, slowly starting to push here. There is a Void Rift, unfortunately, that has spawned and killed off one of the drones that was parked over there, but that Void Rift will end up getting closed up. And again, there's another crystal over here as well that will be available for pickup. And Stetmann's Super Gary is just chilling in this spot right now, and another one as well over here for pickup. So yeah, this crystal is also available, so there is a lot of available crystals on the map for Super Gary. He's going to be moving in now over here with his Gary zone, and he's just going to go and start sniping these Void Rifts all over again. Same idea, use an E-Gorb, and that E-Gorb will clear out that Void Rift. Move over here now and start clearing this out as well, using the blue zones as well to get extra reach for his infestor spawns, and you will be able to clear that out and start pushing into this enemy base as well, dealing a little bit of damage, clearing out some more of these enemy units here. There is one more Void Rift right in the middle here. I think he may want to go and try and deal with that. Yeah, he wants to try and get into that position there. It'll be a little bit difficult. He'll have to wrap around it a little bit. But that Void Rift will also end up getting cleared out. And this crystal, unfortunately, does not end up getting picked up, because I think when Attack Wave may have actually killed off one of the drones that was working its way there. This crystal also is available for Stetmann. This one, again, is another freebie. That crystal, unfortunately, on the low ground will end up getting deleted once the Lava Surge comes up. So that is one crystal lost, unfortunately. But, again, he does have an adequate amount of time. He's sitting at about just under 5 minutes here. And where is he gonna go next? He's getting into position here as well, because like these later crystal spawns will always be near the back end of the map. So might as well just get into position here. Super Gary just slowly started to clear this area out, but I think Amon might just end up rebuilding this hatchery. But again, adequate IDEF here for Stetmann. The IDEF is awesome right now. And Stetmann needs to go ahead and clear this out. He's going to be using an E-Gorb here, clearing out all the Scourge. All these Mules just get completely shredded by Stetmann, and Stetmann also picks off that one Void Rift. And all that is left here is just focus on the rest of these Void Rifts here. There are a few more Mulisks and Corruptors over here. They are very upset with Stetmann Super Gary for killing off their buddies, but Stetmann does not care. Super Gary actually ends up getting caught out without his stat zones, but he does end up recalling back to another Statellite here to just try and reduce the onslaught of the Void Rifts and also try and take out that one Void Rift here. So it seems to be okay over here. There's another spawn of infestor units coming up here, so they will be able to pick up that one crystal and I think maybe start forcing their way into the next enemy base here. And this is also what they're going to be doing in this spot. But Stetmann's Gary has other ideas. He is going to leave this around. The Ravens have started spawning as well. This is going to be really annoying. But again, one more E-Gorb clears off a huge chunk of these units. And these units are going to end up dying. And I think some more of these crystals. But yeah, there are a few crystals here on the high ground that are actually safe. So these two crystals are safe. That one is safe. This one will end up disappearing. This one is safe. And this one is also safe here. And Gary is just going to go ahead and just try and clear out some more of these Voiders. He has to avoid these lava bursts because these lava bursts are actually really nasty. If you're not paying attention, you will actually lose your units very, very quickly. Deal an insane amount of damage here. Just focusing down on these Void Rifts, and he's also using the blue zone with an overcharge just to increase his attack speed and make him clear out these Void Rifts just a little bit faster. And now the Lava Surge has ended. And now, where is he going to go next? He is actually sitting at about 4 minutes and 30 seconds. Another attack wave has spawned. Is he going to go and deal with this attack wave? It does not appear to be so. He wants to just focus on this one Void Array here. Or the Void Ray. I keep calling it the Void Array for some reason. The Zeratul Void Array. So Super Gary is actually getting attacked by these Devourers, and Devourers do deal a little bit of extra damage to Super Gary here. And okay, he wants to go and try and close up this Void Rift, and he's just gonna zoom out of there. He's not really interested in fighting these Amon units over here. And he meets up with the Infestor spawn of his Infestors here, and have actually killed off the little crystal spawn here, the harass wave that spawns with crystals. And I think from now on, there will always be one crystal that will spawn in this spot. And obviously with a harass wave as well. I think there will always be a spawn over here, and he's also now selected this crystal. He's going to be able to catch that one as well, which will be really nice. There are a bunch of Mulisks over here, but these Mulisks all stack up right under the Ravager pile and end up getting picked off. That crystal is pretty much a goner, but this one is safe, so he will get extra time added to his timer over here. And over here there is a large attack wave that is waiting to make its way towards his base, but Stetmann will be able to intercept that if he wants to, or he can just use his Ravagers and Roaches to deal with that as well. So again, there's just a little bit of harass over here, some more Spine Crawlers being utilized as well. What are the unit losses over here? So far, 359 Roaches and 153 Ravagers have died. 13 Spine Crawlers and 2 Spore Crawlers have died. 39 drones are dead so far. Absolute carnage, and this carnage is not going to end anytime soon. I'm wondering if we can actually get the mission complete. Yeah, the completion is not going to show up as well. We're not going to be able to see that, so let's take a look at the mission objectives. 3 crystals left for pickup on the map, so 1 more is going to be deposited right now into the stabilizer, so that will give him a little bit of extra time added to his clock. And now he's just going to start pushing in here. Again, that area is going to end up getting cleared out. Gary just zooming around and does get hit, actually, unfortunately, by a Scourge wave and ends up getting killed off here. So that is actually very unfortunate. So he actually did not expect that Scourge, but you can just see how quickly things can get out of control here. There's a lot of Scourge over there. They just all attacked Super Gary, and Super Gary just exploded over there. But I think he is almost there. He has like 18 crystals picked up, so 2 more on the way. More Void Rifts have spawned, and Stetmann may have to go on the defensive until Super Gary comes out. He's almost out, so it should not be too much time, especially with the Lava Surge coming up. The attack wave will actually move back and wait until the Lava Surge ends, so that'll give him a little bit of extra time as well to get everything ready. So there's another Infestor wave over here. They're going to focus down this Void Rift, take off the Void Rift, and now the rest of these Guardians will end up getting killed off as well from this harass wave that has spawned. So this should not be too bad. There are another bunch of Immortals coming out. Super Gary is already out and ready to go, so he's going to start clearing this Void Rift. He's going to just focus this thing down, pick off this Void Rift, and all is good. And now there's another attack wave over here. Uses his little E-Gorb, clears off that attack wave as well. So more or less, he is kind of safe here. Sitting at 19 out of 20, he just needs one more crystal. And as I said, there will always be a crystal that'll spawn in this spot here. There we go. So that is that crystal here. So that is probably the one that Stetmann's going to focus. Yeah, he's going to focus on that one now. And he is going to use one Ego Orb over here. He's not going to get caught up by the Scourge again. He's going to wipe out all the Scourge, and this area has been completely cleared out. And there's also a wave of Infestor units coming up to try and help push into this enemy base. So this is all pretty much okay. All he has to do is escort the drone back and make sure that the drone does not end up getting killed off. Look at the number of drones. So many drones over here. He's gonna make sure that drone is going to deposit everything into the environmental stabilizer. And yeah, there has been a lot of carnage. A total of 400 roaches have died and 175 ravagers have died. And those are all the crystals deposited. And that is GG.